What's good, y'all, man? It's your boy OG Flames TMC. Good morning, everybody, man. I know it's early in the morning. It's about something to 8 minutes to 8, 7:50. What is it? We at 7:50. Yeah, 7:56 in the morning. You know, it's about to be 8 o'clock. You know, y'all trying, getting y'all commute, getting ready to go to work, or some of y'all going back to school today. Some of y'all on, vacation still. Just wanted to bring you guys something inspirational this morning. Um, as my title states, this is a gospel rapper. His name is Lecrae. Um, he has been dealing with mental health issues, things from his childhood, and he basically wants to talk, or basically on here talking about it. And I just wanted to share it with you guys on his perspective of what the title says. It says, or the title, it says, this is what, this is what, this is what put my wife through hell. As y'all see, the title says, this is what put my wife through hell. So I just want y'all to hear his story and stuff like that. Not on here too long because I got some other things I got to do today. That's my jacket sitting on the back, if y'all seen. Just got a lot of things I'm dealing with, and just trying to get through day to day. Make OG Flames a better person. At the end of the day, OG is trying to make himself a better person, and I'm striving for that. I'll keep you guys updated on what I got going on as far as my 2K situation or my situations in general. But no further ado, I'm not gonna keep y'all here long enough. I'm already 2 minutes in, so I'm about to let y'all get to hear what my boy Lecrae got to say, man. I've been listening to him since I was little, man. Since I was about, I would say I was listening to Lecrae since I was about 11. So I've been listening to Lecrae a long time, man. Long time. And I got some other gospel rappers, that I listen to here and there. Hopefully I'll be able to, catch their story and have them tell their story and share it with you guys. So I'll be looking for information, stuff like that. Start sharing things with you guys outside of 2K. You know what I mean? Yes, this is the 2K channel, but I am gonna start doing things outside of 2K, outside of gaming, and see where it takes me from there. All right. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get to this. All right.
So psychologists say that there are 8 childhood traumas. Guess how many I have? 7. Can you imagine my wonderful wife marrying a man who's walking into the marriage with 7 of the 8 major childhood traumas? Oh man.
There are some conversations that we feel we're not allowed to have. Most Christians can't be seen to have moments when they lose control or even struggle. In these moments, you need someone to go into the deep end with you. Nuance is something you can only find if you're willing to go deeper, and those who are willing are often misunderstood by those who aren't. This is The Deep End with Lecrae. I've been trying not to.
How did your marriage survive?
Man. I I come from a broken family. I functioned in dysfunction. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with my mother or anything along those lines, but she is coming from a broken family. And her mother, there's these cycles of brokenness, and I'm so grateful that my wife was able to endure this man, being myself, who was not whole, was not healthy for years, and stand by my side in hope, in faith, believing that God would do a work in my heart, believing that what God started in me, he would finish. And the only way that my marriage survived is because she believed that God was who he said he was. And she believed that, you know, transformation was possible. Now, I will say this. I have, you know, created so much trauma in my own life from the dysfunction that I endured, and bringing into my marriage the trauma of being abandoned by a father, being molested by a babysitter, um, you know, growing up, you know, running from police, being, you know, physically abused, and all these particular things. Um, you know, bringing all of that into my marriage, and then finding myself taking opiates to cope, getting drunk on a consistent basis, and not following Jesus. Um, I had to own that. And 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 I don't think she would have stayed in this traumatic situation without me owning it. You know, that's not to say she would have just said, "I'm out of here," but I think it would have been very easy for her to entertain, like, I've got to get out of this situation, this man who's just, you know, something has to shake. You know, I would understand if that was the pressure that's on her. My wife, however, is she is a soldier. I mean, she is the epitome of just grace and wisdom and love. I mean, she is my rock. And so her endurance of that showed me a picture of Jesus like nothing else I've ever seen in my life. Because you got to remember, I'm growing up in a family circumstance where the person who's supposed to raise me has abandoned me completely. My dad didn't even think about staying with me. You know, I went to visit him for the first time and see him in what, 2020, maybe 2019, and have a conversation with him about why he left. And my sister and I were there, and we asked him, "Hey, do you feel bad for just abandoning us?" And he said, "I'd never say sorry. Sorry is the sorriest word in the dictionary." He said, "God told me I was going to have kids. He didn't say I got to keep them." Straight face. Straight face. I'm walking with him. We're walking down the street. He'd been addicted to drugs. He'd spent some time in jail. He was homeless. We're seeing a homeless man pushing a shopping cart. I said, "Hey, when you see something like that, how does that make you feel, being that that was once you?" He said, "One time I was pushing a shopping cart. I saw a car with a husband in a minivan driving his kids. And he looked at me and he shook his head like, poor guy." And I looked at him and I thought, poor guy to him. He's got to cart around all these kids. I'm free out here. And I sat there and I was like, "You're telling this to your son who you've abandoned, as if like this is some respectable advice," or, you know, it blew my mind that he could just so casually be like, "Hey man, it is what it is." So I'm bringing all that into my marriage, right? I already have this mindset that people will abandon you. You know, there's different attachment styles. I had an anxious attachment style. I was almost like anticipating either I'm going to leave you or you're going to leave me, like some kind of way this is going to happen. And my wife is like, "Hey, you're a jerk right now. You are abandoning your faith. You are staying out till 3 o'clock in the morning with your drinking buddy. And you're, you know, chasing superstardom, and not spending time with the family, you're not doing Bible studies or devotionals anymore, you are not even the man that I knew when I got married, and I am not going to abandon you. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to hope. I'm going to wrestle. And man, I didn't know what that looked like. And then for me to come to her and say, hey, look, here's the full scoop. You didn't know I was taking these pills. And I'm telling her this, but she sees the brokenness, the repentive heart mindset behind it all, and says, I'm willing to go through the fire with you. If you want to get help and you really want to be something different, I'm willing to do that. Now, you can't be a repeat offender with somebody like that. Somebody who's giving you that kind of grace, that kind of love, care, and compassion. You better be on your P's and Q's. You better honor the fact that they held you down at your lowest, and don't disrespect them by putting them in a position where they're made to look like a fool for making a decision to ride with you when you were an idiot. You don't do that. Matter of fact, you go above and beyond to make sure she knows that she is the apple of your eye, and you are more than appreciative for all of it. Right. But I was getting a big head. Just being honest. I'm sitting here like, man, I got money now. I got more money than I've ever had. I'm a superstar. I'm a celebrity. You get to looking around, you get to thinking to yourself, you got these R&B and models and all these different people who are telling your friends like they think you're cute and so on and so forth. And, I see it. I see why these powerful men leave the woman that they started with and go chase after somebody else, because in their mind, women are just an object of adornment. They're trophy wives. I didn't get married for that. I didn't get married to have somebody adorn me like she's some shiny object or a piece of jewelry. I got married because I knew that this was an amazing woman that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And it wasn't until, I came to grips with the reality that I was, in a sense, tearing my family apart by not being the man that God had called me to be, that I realized the very thing I'm afraid of, abandonment and dysfunction, I'm creating. And I had to own that. Like, I'm creating the very thing that I've been running from my whole life. And so my biggest fear as a young man was becoming like my father, a vagabond, wandering the streets, addicted to drugs, in and out of jail. That was my biggest fear growing up. And, even after success, it was a fear that still haunted me. And then I woke up and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm on the trajectory. And the money and the fame is not a security blanket for chaos. And so my encouragement to folks who are walking the line of dysfunction and chaos is that, listen, you can choose no. Whatever cycle has been created in your family lineage or your family structure, you don't have to follow that. Or you're just like someone. No, you're not. You are your own unique self. Yeah, you share genetics. You may share propensities, but you can choose no. There's some cycles and systems that exist in families that people just assume are the way things must be. And this is the way it has to be because this is the way it always has been. No, it's not. You can choose no, because I am following what God has called me to. Jesus said you might have to hate your mother and your brother. And it's not in the sense of like, I hate you, but it's in the sense of like, listen, there's some kingdom priorities. If I'm setting people free, then I choose to set people free more than I choose to hide a bunch of dirt under the mat in order to look presentable to the world. No, some people need to see my scars so they know their wounds can heal. I got scars. And my scars demonstrate to other people that wounds can heal. So in my relationship, there's scars. Our marriage hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been perfect. We got scars, but they're healed. So we can look back on those scars and be appreciative of what God did. We have what's called stones of remembrance, right? In the Old Testament, they would leave stones to demonstrate what God had done in a particular time. We won a battle here. Put some stones there. That's a stone of remembrance. Some of the scars that we have are stones of remembrance. We remember what God did in 2018. I remember what God did through us in 2018 when we sat in therapy and counseling. We walked through stuff and we wrestle with stuff, and I see what God did. Like, that's what happened. There's a stone of remembrance, and you don't get there without fighting for it. It's not gonna just happen in marriage, in relationships. It's going to be a fight. God puts two people together for the purpose of sanctification. Sanctification means pruning you. You got to go through the fire to come out like gold. So you're going to have to fight, but it's going to take two people to fight, right? I'm not sitting here praising my wife because she just endured, abuse and a negligence and all those particular things. No. I'm praising my wife and at the same time acknowledging my own fault and accepting responsibility to become better, become different. It can't just be her enduring hell. It has to be two people willing to become who God called them to be. And it's not to say she's perfect. My job, she'll tell you herself, she didn't do everything right. She didn't handle everything right. She could have been, more gracious in some particular areas or said some things differently. But we were both willing to fight to become who God called us to be collectively. It's not one person doing all this work. Now, in certain situations and circumstances, yeah, you've locked in, you've made a commitment before God, and you're going to have to fight through that and pray that the other person will get their head on straight. Do you trust God? Do you believe God? Now, I'm not saying you sit there and take abuse. What I am saying is, okay, your spouse, your significant other is acting out a little, or a lot, is, being a jerk in some particular ways. Okay, for better or for worse, for sickness and health. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to step up to the plate and challenge them? And are you going to pray for them? Are you going to advocate for counseling and therapy? You're going to get friends involved? We get friends involved. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how many times the couples that I'm cool with have sat in a room together for hours processing one particular couple's struggles. We'll wrestle until the sun comes up because marriage is tough. But you got to be willing to fight.
What's it like today?
Oh, man, 17 years we've been together. The first 10 were not pretty. The last 7 have been better than any of the first 10. They've been amazing because the last 7, is where we decided to work on stuff, is where we decided to process things, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, the last 5 specifically, right? She's my best friend now. We were not best friends when we got married. We were idealistic kids who thought, we love God and we love each other and everything's going to be great. You go through those stages. The stage of enchantment, that's the first stage. Everything is beautiful. I love you. I love the way you look. I love your lips. I love the way you dress. Nothing is wrong with you. I love this. I love that. I love everything. Stage of enchantment, right? They can do no wrong. We were broke. I remember we were broke. We were dating. I sent my soon-to-be wife to the grocery store. I gave her my last $100. I said, hey, can you grab the stuff for us? She lost it somewhere. I was like, it's no problem, babe. God will provide. That's the stage of enchantment. Okay. So that's the stage. Then comes disenchantment. Disenchantment is when reality hits and you're like, all those endorphins are gone. See, the way God has wired it, like within the first, 2 to 5 months, you are just the endorphins, the brain chemistry is just like, and I think God does that for us to procreate, right? Like, I want you to just be over each other because historically it's like, that's when y'all got together, bam, arranged marriage. You didn't even get to see her. Then you saw her and it's like, oh, let's do this, right? Well, those first 2 to 5 months, you're just in la la land. You don't even see reality. They say you can't see the forest for the trees. But after that comes the disenchantment stage when reality hits and you're like, why do you chew like that? Like, What's that noise you make when you blow your nose? You just stop scratching your throat. Like, what is this thing you're doing with, like, I'm just starting to notice all the quirks about, why are you afraid of that? I don't know. Why does that bother you so bad? Like, why do you like this show? Why do you laugh at those jokes? You just start noticing all the things that you dislike. You woke up. Now you're disenchanted. That's usually where a lot of couples break up, you know, especially serial monogamous people. Like they just love the feeling of being in love. And they're like, I'm just not in love anymore. No, the endorphins have worn off. You're facing reality. Now, if you can get past the stage of disenchantment, you arrive in a place of contentment. Contentment is when you realize, hey, you chew different than me and I love you because what I have is better than what I didn't have. Right? You become content. You're like, man, there's a consistency. There's a trust here. There's a dependency that we've developed now. And now I'm just content, man. I'm not worried about the superficial stuff. I got somebody who, if a brick slashes my face half off in a landslide, this person is going to be in the hospital with me and I'm going to be Scarface and they're still going to be there because the relationship is not based on anything superficial. Is based on a deeper things. And we are coming together to paint a picture of Christ and his church, of dependent people. And so we got past the stage of disenchantment, but it took forever because we weren't working on trying to get past that stage. You know, we were just constantly at war. And I think some of that is because we didn't go to counseling. People think you go to counseling when everything's falling apart. No, counseling is like getting your oil changed, right? You don't wait till you're out of oil or the oil is terrible. You don't wait till you run out of gas to get gas. Some of y'all, that's the problem with your relationships. You're waiting until you're out of gas before you go see therapy or get help. You go when the tank is getting a little low, right? And you fill up or you get the oil change. So it's like maintenance. And we didn't do that. We neglected that. Why did we neglect that? Because I was under the idea that as long as I follow Jesus, everything is going to, there's no integration. And that's part of the problem. I can get on a soapbox on that too. There's not a lot of integration between Bible and Jesus and the therapeutic world. There needs to be more integration. People say, oh, you don't need all that. All you need is Jesus. And then on the therapeutic world side, these doctors and these therapists are saying, well, all that stuff is charlatan where we need to work together. We need the Christian therapists working with the pastors and the leaders to process these particular things. But y'all, once we fought through those storms, our marriage has never been better. Like our arguments used to last days, now minutes. And now because we know I'm for you and you're for me. Once we get to the other side of whatever the issue is, we're closer now. We're closer. We know the other person is not just trying to hurt us. We don't have to give them the cold shoulder. Some of y'all are putting up a brick wall and a cold shoulder because you're hoping to punish that person. Why do you want to punish them? You should want peace and harmony. You want to punish them because you feel like they're trying to punish you. That's not going to bring peace. It's not going to bring resolve. What's going to bring peace and resolve is for y'all to come to an understanding that, hey, I'm here for you and I want harmony and not harm. And here's what God has just graced us, because we were taught in these fundamental Christian circles that compatibility is not a thing, right? We were taught, was Jesus compatible with you? Well, he still married you, didn't he? And I will say this, I don't think that's true. Now, I'm not saying that compatibility is the essential ingredient for marriage, but I'm saying, man, you're going to have some shared interests. It's going to be very difficult and very hard if you're an outdoor person and all you want to do is be outdoors, and the person you want to marry, all they want to do is be indoor, right? There's going to be a disconnect. So I do think there's some wisdom in just knowing the type of person that you're going to be in a covenant relationship with. Right? Everybody's got some flaws, but whose flaws do you want to deal with for the rest of your life? That's the real question. So it's been by the grace of God that though we weren't looking for compatibility, we were just like, you love Jesus? So do I. We should get together. That was basically it. I literally rolled.
Now, I'm gonna get back to the story. I'm gonna let him continue his story. I'm gonna let him continue his story. But he made some valid points right there. Definitely made some valid points on certain things about relationships and marriage. And his intake on it is a little bit different than mine. Just it's similar, but a little bit different, you know. But I'm not, like I said, there's some things that happen, but I'm not going to disclose that on here because it's personal. But I understand where he's coming from about that. Say hi, lovely. Y'all been seeing him the whole. Y'all been seeing him the whole live. So here he is. He's been popping in and out. There you go. Say hi. Say hi. You don't want to say hi now? You was just talking earlier. Yeah, y'all. He was just talking earlier. Giving me love, as y'all see. It's my buddy right here. It's my buddy. His name is Lovely, but I call him Fat because he like to eat everything. He don't like to share. When it comes to his food, he don't like to share. So his nickname is Fat, y'all. But his name is Lovely. I got four other cats in here. I got four other ones. They're around here somewhere. You guys will definitely see them, those other four eventually. But he likes to be in the camera and up on me, as you guys see. I love you too, buddy. But Daddy got to finish this video. You gonna let me finish? All right, I'll sit here and hold you then. If that's what you want. But yeah. So I understand where he's coming from in that aspect about, you know, going to go see a counselor and going to go do all this extra stuff. But like, I just feel like we go do all of that, and the other party don't want to, you know, do none of it. Like they're gonna still do the same thing that they've been doing. They're not going to change it. So, in my aspect of it, what is the point of me wasting my time going to go see a man or a woman for therapy when my significant other is not going to do any changes? And just so y'all know, like I said, I wasn't going to disclose it, but I did get provoked last night. So I'm I'm on the soft edge and the hard edge of making a decision for myself. The reason why I said I'm making a decision, or on a soft and hard edge of trying to make a decision for myself, is because I had a flashback last night, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty. Things that's happened to me in my past blew up in my face last night, but it's all good though. Like I know me, and I know where I'm headed, and I know where God wants me to be. And at the same time, I'm not gonna let nobody stop me from achieving my goal and what God wants me to do on this earth. Because like I told my story on my Love Riders page, which is called the Love Lounge. So y'all go to Love Lounge on YouTube and y'all find me there. This segment will be up there. I couldn't get it up there stream on it, so that's why I'm streaming on my gaming channel. Something's going on with my other page right now, so I'm fixing that. So once I fix that page, this will be up there as well. But I'm just on a different path right now, and I talk to God every day. I had a conversation with him this morning when I woke up, you know, and I'm just doing whatever he tells me to do at this point, you know, and that's where I'm at. You know, I don't care who likes it, who don't like it. At the end of the day, I gotta follow my creator, my maker, the one who put me on this earth. Yes, my parents are not here no more. And it's hard, to deal with certain things like that. Like, I can relate to what Lecrae is saying about his dad, I can relate to that very much so. But it took me over the years to mature and understand things. But I'm not gonna bore you with my conversations. I'm gonna let Lecrae continue and let him finish, and then we'll have a talk after this. All right, we're gonna break some things down. We're gonna have a spiritual talk this morning. A spiritual talk this morning. All right, so I'm gonna get back to Lecrae. I just wanted to chime in and let y'all know what I was thinking when he was making his statement. All right.
The dice, true story. One of my mentors said, I don't know who I should date. All these women love the Lord, and what do I do? He said, just choose one. Now, fortunately, I was, a very handsome and astute young man, and I had that ability. Some of you fellas, you may have to, let your personality shine a little bit. Okay, just telling you. But listen, I just was like, all right, well, there were 4 girls in the ministry that I thought were attractive and loved Jesus. And I literally said this. I said, the next one that comes around the corner, I'm going to pursue. This is a true story. It was my wife now. That's why I pursued her, because she was the first one to come around that corner. That's as deep as it was, because I was under the influence of this particular Christian group. God was so gracious, though. He was so gracious. The good thing about us is it took work to find our common ground. It took work to find the thing that we enjoyed about each other. I'm a very deep well. I like to process and think deeply. She's a free spirit. She likes to have fun and not think don't get too deep in the weeds, because then it's going to ruin the fun, right? So we'll clash there. She likes puzzles and sitting quietly doing a puzzle. I like adventures and running off into the wilderness to do crazy things. We never processed any of those particular things. So it took some work, because all we were doing in our initial years of marriage is realizing all the ways we don't connect. So it took some work for us to be able to find where are our connecting points? Like what, and not, me saying, this is how you need to love me. And her doing the same thing, right? Her idea of romance is not candles and dinner and flowers. That does nothing for her. But that's what I was taught. That's what TV said. That's what the movies told me I'm supposed to do. That's what social media says. No.
He's right,
fellas,
though.
Women want to be drawn out and known. They want to be known. They want you to find out what makes them tick. They don't want you to do the cliche thing. Now, maybe that cliche thing you saw on television works for your particular woman, but they are not just a homogenous species. They are individual people. They want to be drawn out and known. I had to draw her out and get to know her. I had to understand what it looked like to woo her. I had to understand that her idea of loving me was not going to be sitting on my lap and rubbing my hair and telling me I just love the way you speak. That's not her style. You know what her style is? Her style is saying, hey, you want to work on this puzzle with me? And I'm saying that ain't romantic. I don't see the romance in that, but I'm missing it because I'm not drawing out and knowing her. I'm missing her call for affection and attention. And so a lot of us will miss the other person's, reaching out and trying to build intimacy with us because we are assuming that they're supposed to be wired the way we want them to be wired, instead of understanding, no, they have their own unique wiring. And that's a part of the journey, is learning them and molding yourself to fit that process. So that's a lot of what's had to happen, is us learning each other. And now I know her like the back of my hand. Now I know what gets her excited. And guess what? I find my joy in the things that typically wouldn't have given me joy in the past, right? So you know what she likes? Seriously, she likes me and her going to Target. She can get some coffee from Starbucks and we can walk around Target together. I know it's not gonna be a cheap date, y'all. It's not gonna be a cheap date. Okay. We might spend $60 in here on just the cosmetic aisle. Okay. But here's the thing. Instead of me having a distaste for that and feeling like this ain't the Italian restaurant with the candles and the music, I started to say, oh, this is what she enjoys. So now I enjoy it. Because guess what I get? I get time with her. I get to walk with her. I get to talk with her. We get to talk, have conversations. She's enjoying just being out regularly. She's a realist. I'm the romantic. I'm getting my romance bucket filled. Yes, it's not on the beach. We're not holding hands on the beach, but we're holding hands in aisle 5. And it's great. And sometimes you got to make those compromises and live in reality. That's what keeps us alive and what keeps us thriving. A lot of us, we wouldn't be able to appreciate this mocked up version of romance or relationship in our heads because we have such an unhealthy view of it all, right? The idea of romance
He's right.
and like someone wooing you is really like a newer concept. Like that's not how it was in Jesus's day. I can tell you that. I don't think it was very romantic when Abraham chose Sarah or Jacob chose Rachel and didn't want to choose Leah, or like it wasn't that type of situation. And what we have to realize is that this idea, this Greco-Roman idea of romance that we have in our culture, in our society, is more a cultural phenomenon than it is a staple in a relationship, right? These concepts of someone putting you on a boat in Italy with someone playing music, that was fed to you through media. You don't even realize that. What you really want, if you are healthy, is someone who's there for you, who's going to sacrifice their time, their talents, their treasures to be by your side, who cares about your needs, your desires, who celebrates your wins, who celebrates your accomplishments and your overcomings, who's going to walk with you through the darkest times in your life. Man, I remember my brain didn't even freaking work. And if you know what a clinical depression is, I mean, it's like your brain doesn't work. You can't see up from down. Everything is gray. I remember being so scared I couldn't even go to Walmart because the anxiety, I was so anxiety ridden. My wife locked herself in the bedroom with me and just played Uno because that's all I could do. That's love. That's romance like none other. I'll trade that Uno game in my darkest night of the soul any day over riding on a boat in Venice, because that's where real life is. What do you think Jesus wanted more? Someone to, have a good meal with, or someone to stay awake and pray with him in his darkest hour? So a lot of us have to get rid of these unhealthy ideals because they're not healthy for us. We're taking these ideas from the internet and from culture. We're attaching them to human beings. And we're saying, if you don't fulfill this, this isn't going to work. Well, you're going to be single or disappointed for a very long time because God doesn't even put that on us. Yes, there should be some butterflies and some feelings, emotional, a desire for the other person. Absolutely. And that's going to be fleshed out in different ways, right? Yes, that should exist. But the cultural standards of how that desire for another person is fleshed out can get a little crazy, y'all. I mean, yeah, you saw Offset give Cardi B 2,000 roses, and now that becomes a standard. Like, oh, that's love. Says who? Says who? I mean,
Great. Says
Why
the
can't it
world,
be the
man.
fact that
World
you
says
came
that.
home from a long day of work and they see you stressed and tired and they sit down and they massage your feet? Why can't that be the standard? Why can't that be a picture? And again, there shouldn't be one. And you wouldn't be appreciative of the one that comes your way, because all it's going to do, it's going to be a never ending chase for that thing. It's a fleeting feeling. You're chasing a feeling. You're chasing something that a relationship is not supposed to be built upon. It's not supposed to be built upon this Greco-Roman idea of romance. Love is not a feeling. Love is patient. It's kind. It does not consider wrongs. It's long suffering. Love is what God says love is. Love is not what
Amen.
culture says love is.
That's right, my brother.
And so love is not a feeling. It's a sacrifice.
That's
It's a
right.
state of being. It's a choice. That's what love is. Feelings come and go. I get a feeling in my stomach when I eat pizza.
For real.
But a commitment to stick it out, a commitment to stand by somebody, that's love. Fellas, love is not what you can do in the bedroom. Any man can satisfy a woman for a night, but a real man can satisfy a woman for a lifetime. One woman. Love is sticking it out. Shoot, love is, some of y'all fellas are going to be hitting your 50s and 60s one day, and you're not going to be able to do the things that you want to do in the bedroom. And you're going to want somebody to be by your side as you go through the process of figuring out how you can be the performer you once were. That's love. You know, when you've experienced physical abuse, abandonment, violence, molestation, yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on. For me, and you don't know that it's created trauma in you, you're unknowingly affecting someone else once you get involved in a relationship. And man, we've got to start getting healing before we commit to people. If I could go back in time, I would have told myself, go to therapy before you get married. Right? I didn't believe in it. I didn't know it was a thing I needed. Why? Because I was functioning just fine. Sometimes we can function in our dysfunction. Right? It's like olfactory fatigue. Like, you spend enough time in a garbage dump, you won't smell it anymore. It's just like your senses become desensitized, and you get so used to your dysfunction, you don't see it as dysfunction. And so I couldn't see my own dysfunction. I couldn't see the way the trauma had affected me. And I will say this, oftentimes we think that because we've come to Jesus, that miraculously all our problems are healed. All our issues are gone away. All our trauma is done for. No. You have access to the healer. You have access to the shepherd who will guide you to where you can receive the healing, but you've got to still do that work. And so me marrying my wife, I praise God for her, because she came up in a structured, secure environment, had both families, nothing broken, only child, suburban. I mean, after some time in the hood, then the suburbs, like, she had a secure environment, which is why I believe God has blessed me, because she was able to withstand a lot of the mess that I brought. Because for her, she's like, I'm stable. I'm secure. I don't need to run out when times get hard. I need to process information. You know, I'm not perfect, but I don't have all these issues that you have. And so for me, I'm growing up, and when I see conflict in the house, it generally ends in violence, something being broken or somebody going to jail. That's what I saw growing up. So, you know, for me, none of those issues were wrestled with. For me, she's having to deal with my extreme responses to fear, right? Like, I am a stickler for family dinner, not because I get good time with my family and I get good time with my kids. I mean, on the surface, sure, that's what it's for. But deep down inside, it's because I'm afraid if I don't do this, we're going to be a dysfunctional family and they'll feel abandoned like I did. That's the reality. I'm functioning out of fear. And so she has to deal with that and process and wrestle with all those particular things. It was hard, right? Initially, it was hard because I was dogmatic and I was self-righteous. This is the way it must be done. Because I didn't grow up with structure. I didn't grow up with foundation. I had to get it out the mud. I had to do it on my own. And I am the solution. And I must do things the right way in order for it to work. And so I just follow the book. We get in an argument. I could say to her, you know, God desires for us to be harmonious and not argue. And your tone is not going to get us anywhere. Do you think that helped? Anything? Absolutely not. It put more fuel on the fire. I wasn't empathetic. I wasn't trying to hear her perspective. I was just being self-righteous. This is the way the Bible says it must be done. So this is the way it should be done. And that can only last for so long. Legalists are generally the people who end up going off the deep end because they can't even keep their own standards. The standards become too hard for them to keep. They're the dangerous ones. People who have grace and who operate in grace and understand that God is giving them, freedom and grace. They don't see it as a license to go crazy. But legalists are like, it's so hard to maintain this that one day I'm going to snap. Or I've got to hide it because everyone thinks I'm this way on the outside and not this way. That's why I just want to live free now. That's why I want people to just know, hey, these are the wounds that I've got. Hey, these are the struggles that I've gone through. So that way, listen, when you meet me, there's no airs being put on here. It's only the realness. So in our marriage, I had to stop being a legalist. And the way I stopped being a legalist was I couldn't keep my standard. And when I broke, when I became the epitome of everything that I was trying not to be, I was crushed. Because I didn't live up to my own standard. And I believed the lie that God was crushed, that God was so disappointed in me that he was going to write me off. I thought God was going to do to me what my dad did. I worked so hard to get my father's approval. I'm going to make something out of myself. He didn't come back. He didn't say, oh, son, I should have never abandoned you. I'm back now. He didn't do any of that stuff. I worked so hard to get my father's approval. I won all these awards, but deep down inside, I was just trying to do that to demonstrate to my dad and to myself that I was valuable. And I believed the lie that God would see me as invaluable because of my sin, which is not the case. So I was in a dark place and my wife was like, hey, you're still valuable. We still love you. You still love me? Yes. I don't understand this. Yeah. Because you're the older son in the prodigal story. You don't understand because you did everything right. And you don't understand how someone could love this prodigal who ran off. I was both sons at one time. I'm the older brother. I did everything right. And I do this and I do this. And then I'm the prodigal and I ran off and did everything wrong. But my mindset wasn't like, thank you, God, for embracing me. Thank you, babe, for embracing me. And my mindset was like, still the older son, like, no, you cannot be embraced. You have fallen. It's a lie. That's exactly what Satan wants us to believe. You're always going to be in a dysfunctional relationship if you don't deal with your trauma. Always. You're going to either be in a dysfunctional relationship, you're going to be attracted to dysfunctional people, or you're going to jump from relationship to relationship because you don't understand the process of what healing looks like. When you go through the process of being healed as a person, then you can endure the process of healing in a relationship, of walking toward a better place in a relationship. Relationships are meant to grow you. It's meant to bring forth healing and sanctification. That's the goal, is to make you a better version of yourself. If you haven't done that on your own, you're going to struggle doing that with another person. You're going to struggle. So if you don't do the work on your own, you're not gonna do it in a relationship. And if you do it, you're gonna do it for them and not for you. And that's gonna be a problem. Because now that's a codependency in a bad way. Now they're the idol that you're trying to earn the love and respect of, instead of a person that you want to walk alongside and you want to be better, with and toward. But you got to want that for you, right? A lot of relationships are about sweeping your side of the street. You can't always fix that other person. You got to fix yourself. When Dara, my wife Dara, when we get into arguments or when we have issues, I don't point out her flaws. You know what I do? I apologize for the things I did wrong. It's not my job to sit there and say, now you apologize for what you did. No, I'm gonna clean my side of the street. That's what I'm gonna do. Hey, I'm gonna own what I did wrong, because that's what's gonna bring peace in the situation. What do I gain? What do I gain from wanting to force her into a position of submission to admit that she was wrong? What do I gain but pride? Right? Now, if she freely offers that to me, that's going to endear me toward her. Right? If she freely says, man, I want to apologize for what I did, that's amazing. But it's not my job to force that out of her. That doesn't make it better. That's not sincere. So in our relationship and our disagreements, now we're two people who've gone through a lot of healing. We're not two people who are unhealed and don't even know how to deal with conflict. We welcome conflict because we know it brings clarity and healing, but healthy conflict, right? If you don't deal with your own junk, it's gonna come back to haunt you. You can't just stuff everything that's going on in your life in a closet and hope that it'll just go away. No, the closet's still there. When you open it, it's all gonna fall out. Eventually, it's gonna fall
All right, y'all. So y'all got his perspective on what Lecrae was talking about as being in a relationship and being in a marriage and going through things that what he was going through himself, and his wife was there for him. It's hard, it's really hard. It's hard, but something I wanted to say, and this is why I do what I do on my other channel, which is the Love Rider Lounge. Like I said, I'm having problems with the Love Rider Lounge right now, and that's why I'm doing this over here. All right, but I will be downloading this and transfer or uploading it on my Love Rider Lounge page once I get it fixed. So this will be over there. Um, but like I was saying, like this is why I do what I do. You know, I've been writing for years. I've been, you know, talking about relationships for years and what not to do and what to do in the aspect of, being in love and talking about relationships and marriage and me being in one myself. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. It's a deep struggle. Like I said previously before on here, that I had some things happen prior to why I'm doing this right now, and I had a little flashback last night. So some things that went down last night that triggered me, and like I said, I have decisions to make for myself, not for them, but for myself. Where OG wants to be, as y'all know on this platform, but on my other platform, I'm known as Poet the Love Writer. So I'm speaking on both behalf of Poet Love Writer as well as speaking on the behalf of Poet the Love Writer itself. Um, it's just a tough thing for me, and I will let you guys know on a later date what my decision will be. As of right now, my head is a little bit cloudy. I don't know exactly where I want to be at this point, but I know I have 5 animals that I love dearly. I love them very much. Once, as you guys seen in this video, and they keep me, how you say, grounded and strong, even though they physically don't talk, but they talk to me in their own way. And I encountered that with my cat. His name is Lovely, but I call him Fat Fat. Y'all seen him just a few minutes ago in this video. So as you guys seen, that's the type of love that I get from them throughout my day or throughout the day. As you seen, I got his hair all in my beard, but I don't mind that. That just lets me know that I am loved through my animals, and I will always continue to love them regardless of what my situation is. I made a promise to my animals that I would never leave them, and I definitely always keep that promise. I always keep my promise. When I make a promise, I always keep my promise. So I am going to keep my promise to my animals. And I also want to say, this video is not sponsored by anybody. It's not sponsored by Lecrae. Lecrae didn't ask me to do any of this. I do know him personally. I've met him. He has come to my church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. But I just want to, tell him from what I just saw today. I want to tell him thank you. You know, he does not know that his message or his messages is, how would I say it, is helping somebody. Just talking about his issues and things that he's done throughout his life growing up, or his, his molestation when he got molested by, I'm not gonna go into all of that, but he did talk about it. And it was very hard for him to talk about him being molested by this person. It was a very touchy subject for him. And by God's grace, he got through that. By God's grace, he's gotten through that. And he's able to express and talk about that tragic day in this young man's life as a young man. He wasn't an adult. He was a young man. And the trauma, just for him to talk about his trauma, and for his, wife to be there for him when he is in his trauma, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, because you got certain people who really just don't care about you. They just care about what you can do for them and how you do it, and how you do things for them throughout the day, and that's it. It's how would I put it? A trying time for me. It's a trying time for me. And like I said previously in this video, that I did have a conversation with God this morning when I woke up. Definitely had a conversation with him. I know his voice, and I talk to him daily. There's certain instructions that I do get from him throughout my day, or something that he wants me to do, and then I'll be like, yo, dude, I talk to God like I'm talking to a regular person. So I'm like, yo, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this what you're asking me, but I'll give it a try. And his response is to me is, son, I don't want to hear the word try. Don't want to hear the word try. This is what I want you to do. And for me, being a, how would I say it? I won't say I'm a relationship coach or a relationship counselor. I don't put myself in those categories. I just see things and I speak on it, and I know what the word says, know what the Bible says, and I try to, live my life that way. In a sense, certain things I don't accept, and I want to say this too. I did lose my best friend a couple years ago. Something that I've been dealing with, and I'm still dealing with. I don't think I ever will get over that tragic day for me, because my best friend was like my brother. He was more like a brother to me than a best friend, if you get what I'm saying. So for him not to be here, and I could speak on certain things of how he was and why he's not here today, is because he was the type of person who try to help people all the time. And we went out New Year's night, or the night before the New Year's night before New Year's drop, before the ball drop. We went to a house party. Well, I didn't go to that house party. I was still at work. I was supposed to go to this house party. And I told him, hey, bro, just like that, hey, bro, I don't think I'll be able to go to this party, man. I'm getting off work too late and I'm gonna be tired. You know? So he was like, bro, it's cool, man. Go home and get you some rest. I'll holler at you in the morning. Holler at me in the morning. Yeah, I got hollered at in the morning with the channel, with the 7 o'clock news, with the 5 o'clock news. That's what I got. That's what I woke up to. And the reason why my best friend lost his life was because he was trying to help someone else. He was trying to help someone else who he saw that was, being physically abused. Not mentally, but physically. You have two types of abuse. You have mental and you have physical. So for him, he doesn't like to see the physical abuse. Neither do I. I don't like to see the physical abuse. Don't. And for me, you'll never see me put my hands on a woman. Never. Never. No matter how they make me upset, they make me real angry. Nah, I just rather walk away, go punch a wall, go punch a refrigerator, go punch a door, or walk around, scream, take my anger out on some other type of way. And not saying that I'm gonna go outside and go take my gun and go plow to take my anger out on somebody else. Nah, that's not how I roll. That's not how my best friend rolled. And that's not how we roll. But we're the type that we do not like to see a physical altercation. So he was at the party, he saw a physical altercation, and that's something that he, like I said, we don't tolerate. And he stepped in on her behalf, and I guess the dude didn't like what he said or how it went, and him and the dude got into it, and dude went outside, dude left, and the girl went behind him, came back, killed my best friend. So my best friend lost his life for saving another life. And it's hard for me. It's really, really hard for me because I don't have my ride or die. Yeah, you want to say in the comments, he's still there with you. Your ride or die is with you all day, every day. He ain't never left. But it's the physical person that's not here. The physical person that's not here. I could talk to him every day, yes I can, but I can't touch him. I can't give him a hug and tell my best friend, hey, I love you, bro. It's a tough thing for me. And I live with that, and I live with that pain every day because I felt like I failed him in a sense. I failed my best friend. I wasn't there for him. I was supposed to be there that night. And I'm most certainly sure if I was there that night, my brother would be here today. I'm sure my brother would be here that day. But who am I to question God? God may have set it up that way for him to be like, okay, well, I got better things for him to do up here than being down there on this earth. So, that's how I look at it sometimes. I look at it as, well, God had better plans for him and things that he wanted him to do, in the heavenly realm. So, that's how I look at things today. But I do get saddened, His birthday's in like 2 weeks. His birthday is in 2 weeks, man. Like, sheesh, man. I spoke to his godmom the other day, trying to figure out what she's trying to do. You know, she deals with it every day too. So we both deal with it the best way we can, you know. And it just saddens me that he left 3 kids behind, and his baby moms, or I should say his wife now, would have been his wife because they was engaged to get married. I'm sure she deals with it more than any of us. But she has to see those kids every day, and all his kids look like him. So she sees pieces of him in her kids every single day, to know that he's not around, and to know that she had to answer questions on why dad is not around. Me being his brother, I can't answer those questions because that's not my place. Yes, those are my nieces and my nephews. You know, I check up on them sporadically. You know, make sure that they all right, make sure she good. You know, I don't, like I said, I don't have much, but if she needed something and I have it, I'm making sure, you know, that she's good. You know, because that's my brother's significant other. So I also got to look out, you know, for them and keep that going. Because if it was me, I'm sure, I'm sure he would do the same. You know, and I'm good talking about it now. Back then, I couldn't talk like I'm talking to y'all now. Yeah, I'm a minute. I know I'm a minute in, and I didn't want this video to be too long, but it's just something I wanted to come on here and talk about and get some things off my chest. I got some other things that I want to talk about, but I can't disclose that right now until I figure out my situation and where my heart is right now, where my mind is, you know. And like I said, for me to figure that out, I got to go talk to my father first and see what he suggests. And then when I say my father, I'm not talking about my physical dad, I'm talking about my spiritual dad, just to see where, you know, where he wants me to go from here. Because, like I said, there's things that went down. That was a trigger and it went left. So, and that's something that I would never do to somebody, no matter how mad you get. You just don't do that, you know. And for me, like I stated before in previous videos, I don't attach myself. I detach myself from females in general, especially the ones that are, how would I put it? I won't say they're vulnerable, but the ones that put themselves out there for you to be like, yo, or let themselves be known like, yo, I'm here. I don't roll like that. If I'm with you, I'm with you. Like, I don't roll like that. And I previously had, I'm going through stories so y'all can understand why I am the way that I am. I had a previous female friend, or I should say, you know, we started to build a friendship, and it became, how you say it, we became best friends. So we talked about a lot of things. And when I previously got into my relationship, um, in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to say bye bye to this person and focus on my relationship And if I have any problems or if I need to talk, I need to go talk to my significant other about what I got going on. But in the same time, in the same time space, I would never tell myself, let me go call this person, to be spiteful. Knowing that you're in a committed relationship. Knowing that you're in a committed relationship. And that's all I gotta say. Like I said, I just gotta figure some things. I'm not going to, go into details and all of that, because that's really none of y'all's. There's something I gotta deal with, and figure out where I want to be and what I want to do in this time space. I had a couple hours to myself last night to think about some things. I was still upset, so I haven't got my thought process, right until this morning when I had a conversation with my father. And my father told me to come on here, and he pointed me to this video that I just played. And it humbled me in a way, because I understand where Lecrae was coming from. In a sense, I do understand where he's coming from. And like I said, I grew up watching Lecrae for a very long time. I've been listening to his music before he even got famous, blew up. I've been listening to Lecrae since 116. All right, that's how long. Y'all know what 116 is? Leave that in the comments. But like I said, I'll let y'all know where my headspace is at and on what I'm thinking and stuff like that. I'm also thinking about launching a business, but I think I'll be doing this one on just me, fulfilling my dreams and things that I want before I leave this earth. Because if I don't feel that, I'm gonna feel like I was a failure. And there's things that I want to do that I'm just not feeling nobody hold me back. I'm gonna achieve everything that I'm supposed to achieve with God's guidance. With God's guidance. And I've been saying this for years, that I wanted to start a writing company. I want to get back into writing. I want to get back to doing the things that I love to do. And sometimes it's hard to do that. Sometimes it's very hard to do that when you don't have the funds to do it. But I pray to God and talk to God about certain things. And every time I talk to him about me being successful, not trying to say, oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be rich, no, that's not what I'm doing it for. Yeah, it's good to have money to go do things when you want to do them. And me being a poor person, I'm not saying I'm poor, but I'm an average person who lives paycheck to paycheck. You want to say it that way. I'm not poor, but I'm not rich. I'm in between. All right. Some days I have money, some days I'm broke. Hey, right now I'm broke. I don't got a dollar to my name. But I know with God, To God, I'm a rich man because he woke me up this morning to give me another chance. He didn't have to wake me up this morning. He could have said, hey, man, 41 years old, it's time to come home. You suffered enough. But I know that I'm here for a reason because I think I told y'all the story where I died 3 times. I died 3 times, but I'm still here. So it's a reason why I'm sitting in this chair with this camera and me talking to you after Lecrae just spoke. I ain't supposed to be here, man. I'm supposed to be chilling with the Father right now, sipping on tea and, you know, doing what he asked me to do up above, you know. But out of all those altercations I had, and each time that I got sent up, he also every time he said to me, your work is not done. Your work is not done. So he sent me back. Your work is not done. But he's sending me back. For what? I'm still trying to figure that out. And he hasn't given me an answer about that yet. You know, I've been asking him, like, what is it that you want me to do? Why am I still here? You know, I got the scars on my body to show. Why am I still here? I've been stabbed. I've been shot at. It's a lot of things, man. Why am I still here? And I've yet to figure that out. Again, I've yet to figure that out. No answer from him yet. You know, still trying to figure out my assignment, but it's self-explanatory about my assignment because I'm sitting here talking to you on this camera. So he revealed to me last night about what my assignment really is. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. My assignment is to help people mend their relationships and marriages. Even though my relationship is rocky. It's like I'm sitting in a rocking chair and I'm just rocking back and forth. Some days it's good. Some days it's bad. Some days it's better than others. Some days I feel like giving up. That's just being honest. Some days I just feel like saying, hey, I don't want to do this no more. But God somehow always brings me back. And how he does it through my animals. He brings me back through my animals. Like I said, even though my animals don't physically, what y'all call physically talk, my animals talk to me every single day. My animals show me things that a known person wouldn't show me. And there's a parable that God uses, and not a lot of people catch it. He uses animals. It's crazy how he uses a dog and cats, birds, monkeys, elephants, lion. I'm just naming a few animals, right? Regardless of how you treat that animal always comes back to what? Show you love. The animal always shows you love, regardless of how you treated that animal. Regardless of what you did to hurt that animal, the animal always comes back and shows you love. As y'all seen today in the video, my cat Lovely, which I call him, his name is Lovely, but I call him Fat because he eat everything. He eat everybody's food in his house. Even our food he eat. Or he tried to eat. So his nickname is Fat. Y'all seen him in the video. Right? My animals are so smart. They know exactly when something is wrong with me. And they come to me and say, hey, you need to chill out sometimes. Sometimes they come and tell me I need a chill pill. I need to relax. As many times I try to walk out the door and my cat Lovely stopped me from going. Physically. He'll block the door. But I also, like I said previously in this video, that I've made a promise to my cats that I would never abandon them or I would never leave them. And like I said, Flames and Poet the Love Writer, which I'm referring to myself, because this will be going up on that channel as well once I get it fixed. Poet the Love Writer and Flames always keep his promise, especially to my kids, which I call my animals. They are my kids. So I try my best to understand what they're trying to tell me and move on from there. But like I said, myself and God have some things to talk about today. So I'm probably going to be, secluded with myself, not being around too much, and having a deep conversation with my father. And whatever my father tells me, that's what I'm going to do. As of right now, I'm just chilling by myself. And I think that's what I'm going to do for a little bit, just chill by myself. Once I have this talk with my father and see what my father wants me to do, he's going to give me direction. Once he give me that direction, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to always be happy. I have my sad moments, but through it all, I'm going to always smile. I'm going to always be happy. Because there's nothing worse than being miserable on this earth. Because you being miserable, it's like a chain. It's like a disease. It goes on to the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and the next person that you have an encounter with. So I'm not going to associate myself with all of that. But like I said, I do miss my best friend. I ain't gonna hold you. I miss that, man. I miss my brother. I miss my brother, man. I wish I could have him just for one more day. One more day. If God could be like, man, I'm gonna give you your brother back for a couple of days, I would enjoy that. I definitely would enjoy that. Because some people don't know what it feels like to be alone. And that's just how I feel. I just feel like I'm alone. I do everything. I carry everybody's burdens. You know, nobody really say, hey, let me help you out. Let me take this up off you. I hurt every day. I sit and I take pills every day, man. See? I take pills every day. I just took them. I just took 2 pills before I got on this. Before I just got on here, you know, because my body hurts. But you know, some people don't care when your body hurts. They just expect you to do what they ask you to do. So you know, and not have consideration. But when it comes to them, they expect you to stop everything that you're doing to cater to them. And for me, I think that's wrong. It's wrong. And it's something my sister used to do to me, or to us as siblings. Even my mom did it to my sister. And I don't think my mom ever had knowledge of what she was doing. But like, there could be a remote. The remote could be sitting on the vanity or the stoop, and she'll be in that room, and they'll be right next to her. She'll call us from upstairs or downstairs, wherever we at, or outside, and call us and say, "Hey, can you come get me the remote? It's right there." Huh? Why can't you just get up and get it? It's not that far from you. And I don't think people understand that. For me, that is a form of laziness. I may be wrong. Y'all may be give me some backlash on this in my comments, but I mean, like I said, it's my opinion. I may be wrong about what I'm saying, but it's common sense that you're 5 to 10 feet away from an object that you want, but you're gonna call me from wherever I'm at to get you an object that you're right next to. So y'all make that make sense. I'm the type of man, I don't mind helping, but I do things logically. I think things logically. That's how I think. I don't mind helping you. But when it gets to the point where I feel like, hey, me helping you is a crutch, or me helping you is making you lazy, then I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna pull back. And right now, that's where I'm at. I'm in my pullback stage. Like, I'm just chilling. You know, I'm not the type of person to say, hey, I'm gonna pick up my phone and go call a shorty just to be spiteful. Nah, I don't do those things. I don't do those things at all. Knowing that, knowing that that is a trigger for me, and it has happened to me in my past relationships, you know, where you are a good guy and they just take advantage of that just because you're a good guy, thinking that, oh, I'm gonna go talk to the next. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then by all means. But at the end of the day, don't be calling me baby. Don't be calling me none of that stuff. All that stuff goes out the window. That's a form of cheating to me. May not be for y'all, but it's a form of cheating. I'm not saying you can't have friends, but when you have a friend that you had sexual conversations with, it becomes null and void, if you get what I mean. That's like me picking up my phone and calling one of my exes that I had encounters with or had sex with and saying, hey, that's my friend. We're friends now. Nah. For one, that's disrespect to my shorty. For one, I don't know them. I'm only going off of what I have told you or you have told me about that person. But it is what it is, you know? At the end of the day, they did that shit to be spiteful and get back at me. It's cool though. My mom and my dad always taught me never clap back. So don't, because it takes two hands to clap, right? It takes two hands to clap. You can't clap with one hand. It takes two to clap, right? So if your significant other did something to you and they know that's a trigger for you, and they know that has happened to you in your past, and they go and react that past, I'm not gonna go do the same. So that way we're clapping each other. We're clapping. Nah, I'm not gonna clap with you. I'm gonna chill, go about my day. You know, I'm not gonna do any of that. You ask me to do something for you, hey, I don't mind doing it for you. I just know now I gotta keep my distance. I'm gonna still be kind, because at the end of the day, the Bible says love is not an action word. Love is an action word, but how would I put it? Because Lecrae said it in the video. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said it in the video. And I believe he said love is not an action word. I'm quoting it. I think that's what he said. Love is not an action word. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is not uproar nor rude. That's love, you know. So I'm gonna always show love, regardless of how I feel. But I know now. Lenny got to set his boundaries and keep his boundaries. You know, I didn't set boundaries before, but I got to set my boundaries, and I've set them as of yesterday. I set my boundaries, so I know exactly where I'm at, what I got to do for OG and Poet the Love Writer to be headstrong and focused and not think about the trauma that has happened to me, or I should say me, because I'm being transparent. But I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys, you know, and vent. I couldn't not venting the way I should be venting, but you guys are helping me out, man. Thank you to the TMC family, TMC Noti, and the Love Rider Lounge. All my supporters over there. Thank y'all for supporting me in whatever I do. You know, especially for that, my writers, man. Especially for my writers page. You know, my the Love Rider Lounge page, man. Thank y'all so much. I need to thank y'all. And like I said, this is going up over there. So that's why I'm doing it now. Thank y'all so much for y'all support and everything that I've been trying to do for the past couple of years. I've been saying it that I want to start I've been saying I want to start this business. I want to start a writing company. I want to start a writing company. I want to start a writing company. I've been saying it. I've been saying it since I was 22. And now I'm 41. So I think now is the time for me to pursue my happiness. To pursue my happiness and helping people and get up off my butt and get some work done. So I may be changing like I said, I may be changing my logo. I don't know yet. Like I said, I've been thinking about a lot of things, especially for that platform, because I'm not monetized over there yet. I'm monetized on the TMC page over here, but I'm not monetized over there yet. And I want to be, how you say, transparent to both of my content and work on both content. So I gotta, set a schedule for myself and get to work. The reason why I'm saying I'm getting to work, this is my business. I said I wanted to do a business, and I'm doing it in the form of YouTube. YouTube is my business. It doesn't bother me if nobody watches. Nobody's in here watching me on live stream. It don't bother me if nobody watches me. I can have 0 viewers and still talk. The point is, what I'm making is me getting things off my chest. This is how I'm going to do it from now on. Me getting things off my chest. Me talking about things that I don't like, things that bother me, things that I want to improve in and things like that. Because I know my Noti gang on both platforms, they're going to look out for me. They're going to have my back. They're going to give me encouragement. They give me some direction on what I need to do to succeed and flourish in my business. Because Flames and Poet the Love Writer is tired of being an average man. I'm 41. I want to be able to leave something for, my future kids when I do have kids. Or if I adopt, I want to leave my adopted children something before I leave here that I built for them. So that way my children's children or my adopted children's children don't have to grind the way they would see their grandfather grind or their great-grandfather grind. Busting sweat and tears, working paycheck to paycheck, hopping to job to job. I don't want my kids doing that, or all the kids that I adopt doing that. I want them to be stable and well off. I want them to be able to, if they choose to get a job, they can go ahead and work. But they also know, hey, Pops left me something here. And the things that I do, I say it again, it ain't for me. It's for them when I have them. So that's my mindset. I'm doing things for my children's children. My children and my children's children. Because I won't be able to benefit any of this. I may be benefiting for a little while, but we all know I ain't benefiting from this. And that's why I grind so hard. But I'm going to get out of here because I got some other things to do. I got some other content to do. And I got to do some recordings. I got a lot of stuff to do today, man, because yesterday was my day off from doing all of this. So I got to catch up. I got to catch up in a day or two. So it's now 9:41. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to leave like this. It's your boy OG, Flames TMC. Stay up, stay fly. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace.